said scrap it, start over, 46%. Take a look at the bottom number there, 19% said just do nothing, just leave it as it is. 30% of those who responded say they want to see this current bill passed. So everybody on Capitol Hill should take a look at those numbers, too, what they think about all this.
I understood that, huh? I followed that. You?
Definitely.
Meanwhile, moments after the CBO price of the bill was released late yesterday, 11 of Congress's current and former doctors came out and blasted the plan. Here is a sample of what they say now.
This health care bill is bad for patients. It's bad for providers, our doctors, our nurses in our hospitals, as well as it's bad for payers, the American people who are going to end up having to pay this bill.
I want to see health care reform. But what is before us and what we're about to vote on is not health care reform. It is the largest dive into incremental socialism.
So this bill's bad on policy, it's bad on process, but mostly it's bad for the patients of America who understand, as Phil said, that costs will go up, quality will go down.
That was a strong press conference yesterday, and moments from now, two lawmakers from different sides of the aisle pick up the debate on that. A fair and balanced debate on that very issue. That's coming up in a moment here on America's Newsroom. Stay tuned for that.
All right, and here at Fox News, we want you folks to stay involved in all of this at home. We want to know what to expect in the House over the course of this weekend in health care vote. Go to foxnews.com, your other news source, and click on the Speaker's Lobby link on our homepage. You can read about how our team on the ground is anticipating the next few days and how they might unfold on Capitol Hill, which is going to be, it's going to be quite a weekend, folks. I got to tell you, you're not going to want to be too far away from your TV screen. Now, listen to this.
Just so we're clear, well, I mean, we think right now there's a vote on Sunday.
We think.
That may happen, it may not.
Right.
We don't know.
Better indication over the next 24 hours as to whether or not what we'll all be doing this weekend, right? And now listen to this. This is a story we followed very closely here at America's Newsroom. A double deal could be near for Gitmo. Now, here's the story. This is the story of Senator Lindsey Graham and the deal that would nix the New York terror trials in return for an agreement to close down Guantanamo Bay. We hear that this deal is not imminent. Could be happening over the next several weeks, according to our reporters who are covering this. The Wall Street Journal, though, today has reported that the White House and a bipartisan group of senators are getting close to an agreement. And that deal would include trying top terror detainees, like the accused 9/11 plotters, before military commissions. That is part of this deal. And that represents a big change to Eric Holder's original plan, where he wanted to see these people tried in civilian trials. So this is a very interesting deal that's been unfolding on Capitol Hill. Wendell Goller's live at the White House with more on this. Wendell, what's the reaction so far to this story this morning?
Well, it's not clear, Martha, how close we are to a deal on this, but it is clear that the outlines of a plan to close and deal with the terror suspects there are beginning to coalesce. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, as you say, leading the effort for Republicans, and the White House is comfortable with dealing with Graham for a couple of reasons. He is an instructor in the Judge Advocate General School in the Air Force, as such, an expert on military justice. He's also one of a limited number of Republicans who are comfortable with the idea of closing Gitmo as long as an acceptable alternative is found. Graham has basically laid out a set of issues that need to be dealt with in order to allow Gitmo to close, starting with coming up with military commissions for Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and the other 9/11 suspects currently held at Gitmo, to be tried by a military commission instead of a civilian court. You remember the president, not just Eric Holder, the president wanted these folks tried in civilian court. He has basically conceded that is not possible. New York officials who initially supported the idea have now withdrawn their support. Congress won't appropriate the funds, so you need to come up with a way to try these folks before military commissions and have those trials upheld by the Supreme Court. You also need to resolve the cases of 31 Gitmo detainees who have filed habeas appeals claiming they were wrongfully imprisoned. Now, the reason the Bush administration created Gitmo was the thinking that holding these people outside the United States meant they didn't have habeas rights. The Supreme Court disagreed with that. Now those cases need to be settled. There are also about 50 inmates at Gitmo who the government fears it cannot convict because of tainted evidence and other reasons, but are too dangerous to release, need to come up with a way to deal with them as well.
Yeah.
Martha?
All right. Well, this has been a very interesting deal to watch all along. Wendell, thank you very much. Good to see you outside the White House this morning. And there are some stunning new numbers that are out today.